The final live Raw broadcast of 2001 set to close a rollercoaster year for the company and the industry in general started with Undertaker vs Jeff Hardy going 4 minutes for the Hardcore title, seeing Taker going over followed by a strong post-match angle of Taker throwing both Jeff and Lita off the stage with Matt watching from WWF New York to continue to establish his heel character, opening Raw above the recent average with a 3.9 rating. With the WWF set for a busy week starting tonight, taping 4 TV shows from Monday to Saturday with 2 Raw and SmackDown shows each combined with matches for the secondary shows of Heat and Metal, before a rare lengthy break from December 25th until going back to the full schedule to kick off 2002 with a live SmackDown broadcast coming from the MCI Center in Washington. Vince McMahon was out next for the follow-up of one of the most talked-about segments of the year taking place last Thursday on SmackDown that saw Steve Austin in a show-long angle first attacking Vince and Booker as a fireman in disguise before driving after Booker to take him out all over a grocery store in one of the memorable segments in SmackDown history, with Austin coming out for the response to Vince demanding an apology for Booker continuing his would act with the Lafayette crowd detailing every item he put Booker through in the supermarket to end with Booker showing up in the parking lot to brake his truck, leading to another car chase and the start of another show-long angle for the rest of the night, with this segment seeing Raw picking up over 400,000 viewers to a first-hour peak 4.1 rating. And as the WWF continues its dispute with one of the biggest pay-per-view providers in the business and DirecTV over a new deal, with the last 3 events not available through the direct system in No Mercy, Survivor Series and Vengeance costing both companies approximately over $3 million, the WWF, which holds out in negotiations for a better contract due to now having more leverage in the industry than ever before, saw an announcement during the week that can potentially threaten its monopoly in the wrestling industry, with the new World Wrestling All-Stars promotion after successful tours in Australia and Europe drawing big crowds on the back of its star names in fresh international markets despite still not having any television exposure, announcing that it's gonna enter the national pay-per-view business with its first event now scheduled for February 24, 2002 in the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, looking to not only compete with the WWF for its massive share in the pay-per-view market but also for the top-name free agents about to be available starting in January, with a unique opportunity due to the folding of WCW and its contractual connection to Time Warner, leading to some of the biggest game-changing stars in the industry not being under contract, with Hogan, Savage, Hall, Nash, Steiner, Sting and later Goldberg all can soon be signed to new deals, with the WWA looking to capitalize on the rare situation already starting talks with Nash and Hall on signing in time for the February pay-per-view after their recent talks with the WWF remained stagnant due to negotiations around the number of dates a month in their contract, with the WWA looking to potentially attract Sting, Hall and Nash with big guaranteed contracts and much more comfortable schedule compared to going on the road full-time in the WWF later in the year. And while their names are strongly linked to both the new startup promotions in the WWA and XWF, Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan made headlines during the week to reignite their nearly 20-year feud, with Savage challenging Hogan for either a worked or shoot fight on pay-per-view with all the profits going to charity, ending up with Hogan turning down the challenge, with Savage donating $10,000 to a children's hospital as he promised to do if Hogan didn't agree to the match, planting the seeds for both potentially working again in the same company for one more round, with them at the top of the list as one of the highest drawing feuds in the history of the business. Rock came out a minute after 10 p.m. to open Raw's second hour in a match against Lance Storm, set up with Ric Flair earlier booking Storm against Rock with a contract on the line if he wins the match. Seeing Rock vs Storm going 6 minutes in the top of the hour quarter, with one of the highlights seeing Rock bringing back his classic mid-match headset routine reading Storm's job options at the People's Employment Agency, with the match seeing Rock having the match won with the sharpshooter to bring out Test for a brawl, with Storm going over in a count-out win to get back his job, continuing the Rock vs Test TV feud with them scheduled for a singles match on SmackDown Thursday in the payoff of the transitional program on the way to the Rumble pay-per-view, ending up with Rock laying out Storm post-match, with the match jumping over 500,000 viewers to the highest rated quarter of the night 4.2 rating. With Booker still hiding from Austin in the church, sitting in a confessional booth in a comedic segment continuing the show-long angle, Undisputed Champion Chris Jericho was out next in his first appearance on the night at 10:15 p.m. with the formatting attempting to maintain the expected boost for the Rock top of the hour quarter, with another big star power promo segment right after, bringing out Jericho followed by Ric Flair, with their confrontation accomplishing the goal, only slightly dropping to a 4.1 rating. But with Raw's second hour last week unusually way above the recent average, drawing a 3-month high 5 rating, the second hour on the night dropped significantly by a full rating point to a 4 rating, with no major bumps or upwards movement throughout the 2 hours, as Jericho bragged about his biggest career highlight in beating Rock and Austin in back-to-back matches to win the titles, before calling out Flair to cancel the scheduled title defense against Van Dam later tonight, with Flair instead hyping the match, with RVD getting the shot after pinning Jericho in the SmackDown main event last Thursday, as similar to Raw on last Monday's SmackDown after near-record viewership on December 6, driven by the huge Rock McMahon quarter drawing 9 million viewers, dropped from the peak of last week from a 4.2 to 3.6 rating for the show featuring the talked-about Austin vs Booker Supermarket Brawl, peaking with a 4.1 rating and around 7 million viewers for the Brawl follow-up, and mostly the main event tag match of Rock and Van Dam against Taker and Jericho that set up tonight's main event coming up. Kurt Angle and Test vs Rikishi and Edge was next, with Angle and Test going over, followed by Rock running in for the save post-match to officially set up his match against Test on Thursday, while moments later, after debuting his comeback video package last Sunday at the Vengeance pay-per-view, Triple H's return was officially announced for January 7 in the first Raw of 2002. Giving his return 3 weeks of massive hype to pop a big number on his first night back, with him originally scheduled for a mid-December return before being delayed due to his latest doctor evaluation combined with scheduling reasons and political maneuvering. As with Raw tonight, the final live WWF broadcast of the year, with next Monday's Raw set to be taped on Friday followed by SmackDown on Saturday, with a week off scheduled due to the holidays, before a Best of 2001 recap show on December 31, with the crew only returning with a live SmackDown broadcast on January 3. Numbers in the next 2 weeks are set to take an expected massive hit to the lowest rated shows of the year coming on Christmas and New Year's Eve, strategically guaranteeing Hunter's return a massive rating increase on January 7 with the already hyped Raw from Madison Square Garden, giving Triple H every advantage to draw massive viewership, with the show also set to have the traditional New Year bounce back in the first Raw after the football season, leading to comparisons with similar situations in the past 2 years of the TV returns of Rock and Austin after lengthy absences, which were given a week of hype and led to record numbers. with Hunter set to be judged by those standards on his ability to draw on his own after being given a full month of promotion in the lead-up to January 7th, with Raw's final quarter seeing the payoff of the Austin Booker angle with Booker escaping from Austin in the church, followed by the entrances and first 3 minutes of the Van Dam Jericho main event, with Jericho vs Van Dam with the star power support of Vince McMahon on commentary and Ric Flair as special referee, gaining over 700,000 viewers to a peak 4.3 rating in the 7-minute overrun, which due to Raw's final half-hour dropping lower than usual, making it the joint lowest rated Raw main event overrun of the year, with the company already looking ahead to returning to regularly scheduled programming starting in 2002, ending up with Vince interfering to cost Van Dam the title, followed by Flair and Van Dam putting both Vince and Jericho in the figure 4 to close the show.